Hello everybody. I was born in 1959 in Opbrickle. I was 18 when I went to the Conservatorium of Ghent where I obtained a first prize for music theory, clarinet and chamber music. In 1986, I obtained a license degree in physical education at the Universiteit KU Leuven. After this, I was mostly working as project leader by the American company Interleaf, specialized in technical publishing. At the end of the 20th century, I started to experience some difficulties during my sport activities. Begin 2000, I received my familial G93C ALS diagnosis by Professor Wim Robbericht in the Gasthuisberg Hospital at Leuven. I stopped working in 2002, started to learn Spanish in the education for adults and joined a cover band as guitarist. In 2006, I began to study at the Faculty Bioengineering Science at the Universiteit KU Leuven. I obtained 2 master degrees, Gene and Cell Technology with a thesis over ALS in 2011 and Food Technology in 2012 with a scription about white wine. In 2012, I was permanently condemned to an electric wheelchair. In 2017, my voice started to weaken, which I compensated with animated presentations and automatic speech generation. In 2018, I obtained my PhD with the paper towards an objective measurement of wine quality via instrumental analysis. Today, I keep myself busy with making a popularized presentation of my PhD, the writing of a book about wine and a few lectures over ALS. I also organize regularly wine tastings with friends and will rework my research data. During my studies, I had an adapted student room, but now, I am always at home where I have 3 times a week physical therapy and 2 times a week speech therapy. I also use frequently a platform elevator and hoist, a douche, a toilet chair and an adaptable bed downstairs. I regularly stand upright at my standing table and have a PAB budget to pay my assistants. I live already more than 19 years with ALS and there are, despite my progressive setback, still no signs that I will die soon. Today I discuss further the question, why do I live so long with ALS? During this presentation, we discuss the following topics. I received my ALS diagnosis in the year 2000. Familial ALS with a G93C mutation of the SOD1 gene on chromosome 21. It appears that this mutation is reasonably benign and eventually allows for a long life. We know less of the other familial mutations, not to mention about the many sporadic cases. The vast majority, you can then only look at the place and age of onset. A person with bulbar onset on a later age has less chance to survive long with ALS than someone with a spinal onset at a younger age. The latter was also the case with me. A benign mutation increases the probability but does not guarantee a long life with ALS. My sister Miriam had the same G93C mutation of the SOD1 gene as I, but she died already at the age of 45, a little more than 3 years after her diagnosis, while I, almost 60, live already more than 19 years with an ALS verdict. But she could not accept her disease, did not have a daily activity, giving her a lot of time to worry and withdraw more and more from the social life. In short, she was depressive while I never was. Even now, with my weak condition, I am still not depressive, and depression activates cellular stress responses and even invokes cell death. I know, it is not simple to avoid depression with ALS perspectives, but it is necessary for a longer life. I do not smoke and I don't eat too much and too little, what results in a decent BMI. I drink wine and beer but no spirits, and only from 18:0 until 22:30 and between 50 and 75 centiliters per day. Although I don't know for sure, I don't think that my limited drinking behavior influences my condition negatively. I don't take recreational drugs, and despite the promising results, I wait to consume cannabis until it is transformed into an approved medication against ALS without having to endure the carcinogenic and addicting effects of smoking. All in all, I live fairly healthy, which gives me probably some advantages when living with ALS. You often read about people with severe limitations to reach the top of the Mont Ventoux with a bicycle, take part in a triathlon, climb mountains. In short, they explore and often exceed their physical limits. Although this is a noble endeavor for some, this should be discouraged for ALS patients, who become more and more paralyzed. Not only should tiredness be avoided in this condition, but also the many frustrations catched during such an adventure when confronted with yet another action that can't be executed anymore are bad for the mental health of an ALS patient. You should continue to exercise with your physical therapist, your logopedist, on your own, but you have to avoid fatigue. Since my diagnosis, I stopped to look for my physical boundaries, but with my current knowledge I would have stopped even earlier. And now, we arrive to an advantage I have acquired from my activities when I was young. I was playing music and practicing sport intensively, which provided me probably more neural connections than the average person, leading to a slower destruction of most neural networks for movements. Also, my forced vital capacity, abbreviated FVC, was high when I was diagnosed. However, you have to do this before you are 30. After that age, it appears to be difficult to improve motor skills. Therefore, try to perform this during your youth, but do not go for physical extremes and avoid fatigue when you are over 30 and genetically marked for getting ALS. Despite the fact that this is a reason for not becoming depressive, I want to stress that I am well surrounded by family, friends, neighbors and professional assistants. First, there is my wife Bridget, who receives the biggest blow. Now, she helps me with eating and drinking, the daily battle with the toilet, shower and dressing. I may not think of falling alone and having to go to a home. Not only would I will have to follow the schedule of too few and not always motivated nurses, but I will have no one anymore to help me getting upright at night and experience some intimacy despite my weakening body. In short, I was probably already death, I think. Also, many thanks to my sister-in-law Eliana, my children Catherine and Martin, the twin brothers Lawrence and Vincent, my neighbors Annie and Jean-Paul, my friends Jan, Mark, Andre, Viral and Guy, my physical therapist Christine and Guido, my logopedist Ellis and many others. Yes, I enjoy the good company, but you don't have to make it too difficult for them and take initiative yourself instead of waiting. There are evidently items we cannot influence anymore, like an unfavorable mutation, a bulbar onset, a diagnosis on an older age, the not making of additional connections in your youth, and an already low FVC at diagnosis, which give you a lower chance of a long life with ALS. But if you want, after your ALS diagnosis, to persist longer, do not become depressive, live healthy, do not pursue your physical limits and avoid fatigue. That's in any case my recipe.